This story dates back to a time when people kept the memories of their loved ones alive with the tokens they gave them. Ibrahim bin Saleh, a famous merchant from Damascus, also held a rare ring given to him by his late father dear to his heart. This ring was not only extremely valuable, but it was also the heirloom of his family and the last token of his father's love. The shining rare stone embedded in this ring always kept the memories of his father fresh in his heart, and he would never take it off his finger under any circumstances. Ibrahim bin Saleh was a successful merchant by profession who lived in Damascus and was famous in the spice business. People from villages and cities used to buy spices from him, and his honesty was known far and wide. One day, Ibrahim returned from a journey exhausted and went to rest in a famous bathhouse in Damascus. Since he needed to bathe, he took off his ring, put it aside and started bathing. When he came out, he did not see the ring, which left his heart heavy. Immediately, they started searching for the ring in the entire bathhouse, but it was nowhere to be found and they sat in a state of anxiety. Ibrahim immediately asked the bathhouse attendant if anyone had seen the ring. The attendant said that while he was taking a bath, a merchant from Herat, Zahid, had come and had just left. Hearing this, Ibrahim's heart was shaken. He immediately asked where Zahid had gone. The attendant said that he had been staying at the inn since yesterday, and now it is not known where he had gone. Ibrahim decided that he would go to Herat, which is a historical city in Afghanistan and is also quite far away. But the love of his father forced Ibrahim to go to Herat. He handed over his business affairs to his capable attendant and set off towards Herat. On the way, Ibrahim's condition worsened. He kept thinking over and over again what would happen if the ring was not found. He thought that Zahid would keep the ring with him because he was a shrewd merchant. But he did not lose heart and was determined to get the ring back at any cost. One day, when Ibrahim reached a dense forest on the way, he was suddenly attacked by some robbers. They had swords and sharp weapons in their hands, which would have made anyone's heart tremble. Greed and intentions were dangerous in their eyes. They snatched money and valuables from Ibrahim. The robbers tried to extract more money from him, but Ibrahim said that he was a poor merchant and had nothing. The robbers did not believe him and imprisoned him. Ibrahim was chained and imprisoned in a small village. Now Ibrahim's heart was in turmoil, because on one side was the sorrow of the ring, on the other side was business, and on top of that, a life of slavery. He was put in the service of these robbers. For months, Ibrahim's life was spent in hardship and cruelty, but despite this, he kept yearning for freedom every moment. One day, bandits robbed a successful caravan, which gave them a lot of valuable goods. They celebrated with joy and became drunk at night. Ibrahim decided to take advantage of this opportunity at night. He slowly approached the bandits who had the keys to the prison. He quietly stole the keys and managed to untie the chains. Then he stole a horse and escaped from there. But the horse was wild and uncontrollable. Ibrahim fell off his horse several times on the way, but he did not give up. Despite fatigue, injuries and worries, he finally reached Herat. As soon as he reached Herat, his condition worsened. He was so injured that he fell into the garden of a strange woman and fainted. When this woman saw Ibrahim in his injured state, she immediately took pity on him and took him to her house and began treating him. After a few days of care and treatment, Ibrahim's condition improved. After recovering, he thanked the woman from the bottom of his heart and set out into the streets of Herat in search of Zahid. Determined to get the ring back, Ibrahim began searching for Zahid in the markets, streets, and coffee houses of Herat. Everywhere he asked about Zahid, but no one knew him or gave a clear answer. After several days of continuous searching, he became frustrated and sat down in a coffee house, where he tried to relieve his fatigue in the peace. When the owner of the coffee house saw Ibrahim worried, he asked who he was looking for. Ibrahim told his whole story, mentioned the ring, and told him about Zahid. The owner listened carefully and then told him that Zahid had come here, but now he had gone to Kandahar. Hearing this, new hope arose in Ibrahim's heart and he decided to go to Kandahar. He did not delay and immediately started his journey. After several days of travel, he reached Kandahar and started roaming the markets and streets in search of Zahid. Amidst the splendor of Kandahar, Ibrahim's heart was filled with hope of getting the ring back, but the search was not easy. After a few days of continuous efforts, he found information about Zahid in an inn. The owner of the inn told him that Zahid was a famous spice merchant and had valuable goods. Hearing this, Ibrahim became even more convinced that Zahid was the one who could have his ring. Ibrahim thanked the owner of the inn and went out into the streets of Kandahar in search of Zahid. He made a determination in his heart that he would always bring back his lost thing. Finally, Ibrahim's continuous hard work and prayers paid off. He found Zahid in a shop in Kandahar, where he was selling spices. As soon as he saw Zahid's face, Ibrahim was sure that he had reached his destination. He went inside the shop and talked to Zahid about the ring and humbly requested him to return the ring. Zahid, upon hearing Ibrahim's words, at first made fun of him and laughed and said, "Hey, I had forgotten about that ring by putting it in a corner." But at the same time, he told him that he still had the ring. On the one hand, Ibrahim was relieved that the ring was safe, but on the other hand, he found Zahid's behavior very sad. Ibrahim prayed with all his heart that Allah Almighty would soften the heart of this cunning businessman Zahid and return his precious ring. After many vows and humility, Zahid finally took out the ring and handed it to Ibrahim. While giving the ring, Zahid laughed and said, "If you had not come from such a distance, I would have sold it in a ring. But let's consider this your hospitality." Ibrahim took the ring in his hand and breathed a sigh of relief and thanked Allah Almighty in his heart. Despite Zahid's behavior, Ibrahim thanked him gently, even shaking hands with Zahid. Ibrahim managed to make a place in Zahid's heart due to his honesty and excellent morals. On the one hand, Ibrahim was a true and hard-working businessman, while on the other hand, Zahid was known for his cunning, but a friendship was established between the two that later turned into a relationship. Ibrahim married Zahid's beautiful daughter. Zahid changed his life path by staying in Ibrahim's company and completely repented of theft and fraud and took the path of honesty. Over time, Zahid became the biggest spice seller in the region, but he used to buy all the spices from Ibrahim. Zahid's business not only gained popularity in his city, but Ibrahim's business also increased manifold. The honesty and partnership of both of them took them to the heights of success and also set an example for others. This story teaches us very important and valuable lessons that can serve as a beacon for improving our lives. The first lesson is to never take for granted the signs and heritage left by our ancestors. Even if they seem small, they can make a huge difference in your life, as Abraham's ring proved. The second lesson is that honesty and sincerity always pave the way for success. Although Abraham was an ordinary merchant, his honesty and hard work not only helped him get his lost ring back, but also increased his business many times over. The third and most important lesson is that one should not despair in troubles, because these are tests from Allah Almighty, behind which lies wisdom and benefit. If Abraham's ring had not been stolen, he would never have been able to guide Zahid on the straight path, nor would his business have prospered so much. Behind every trial there is a path to success, provided we face it with patience and faith. I am sure that you must have not only enjoyed this story but also learned important life lessons. If you want to hear more old and interesting stories, then be sure to subscribe to our channel, Islami Wakas, press the bell icon, like the video, and share it with your friends so that they can also benefit from these beautiful stories. And if you like this story, be sure to write your opinion in the comments. Thank you for your support.